Today's video, we're going to take a look at a couple of versions of a really nice knife from the folks at Victorinox and Swiss Army Knife, the one-handed Lockblade tracker. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. Today's video is going to be a quick look at a couple of versions of the same knife. They just have a different blade from the Swiss Army Knife folks at Victorinox, the one-handed tracker. And you can see they call it one-handed because you can open it with one hand. It's also a lock blade. So let me give you some of the details of this knife, some pretty close-ups because it's kind of good looking, and then we'll do some nice stuff. Okay, once again, this is the Swiss Army Knife one-handed tracker. This knife's available in two versions with a serrated or non-serrated blade. Both blades lock. Also features a Phillips head screwdriver, a can opener with a small flat head, a large flat head with a bottle opener, a toothpick, a pair of tweezers, a reamer, a wood saw, and a key ring. So that's some of the specs and details of the one-handed tracker by Swiss Army, the folks at Victorinox. Let me give you a little close-up and we'll do a little bit of knife stuff with it, show you how well this thing works. It's got a big hole here first of all, and that's just so you can put your thumb in and open it up like so. And you notice you heard that little snick. This thing is a lock blade and it's a liner lock. And you know, some lock blades, when you're holding the knife like this, you push the liner this way, you're actually going to put it the other way and push it, and it closes right back up. I kind of like that because it makes you move your hand out of the way before you lock this thing and close it, and kind of use two hands to lock it. This, as you can see, is the serrated version. They have an exact same knife with a non-serrated version. If you're going to order one of these, you want to get the NS if you want the non-serrated. That's what there's one that says NS, and their website's not really clear about that. But just so you know, the NS is the non-serrated. But let's take a look at some of the stuff that this thing offers. So not only does the blade itself lock, also it has, in my opinion, one of the best little small saws on the market, and you can see it's got that diamond cut, whatever they call it. But well, and we'll show you how well this thing works in just a minute. But this is, I've got a Swiss Army Fieldmaster, and this saw is just so handy for little around camp tasks. Saw does not lock, but it's got a pretty good snap spring open, and it's got a pretty good angle on it. We'll show you. Then it has, in addition to that, it has a flathead screwdriver with a bottle opener, and I think that's a little wire stripper there, they call that. The flathead screwdriver does lock, and you have a separate, you can see where it says press right there, maybe you can see that. So that locks. And then there's a can opener right here, and it's just an old school can opener. You hook down the rim of the can and punch around the can, and it does not lock, but it's okay. You don't really need it to lock because all your pressure is going to be against the hinge on that one. I like the fact that the screwdriver locks because, man, when you're prying stuff or trying to twist a screw, you really don't want that thing snapping up on you, closing on your hand. And on the back, have a really functional Phillips head screwdriver, not some little flat Phillips head, but an actual real three-dimensional Phillips head screwdriver that you can put some torque on if you need to, like a T-handle. And there's a reamer. I got to tell you, these reamers can be dangerous. Here, you can see that, because it's not sharpened up to about right here, and then from here on up it's pretty sharp. So if you hold it like this, you're probably okay because your fingers, if you don't, unless you got really big fingers, but this thing does not lock either, and it could close up on you. And so you just have to be really careful when you're using that. And then, like all Swiss Army knives, it has a toothpick, which is extremely handy, and a pair of tweezers, which is also extremely handy. And then there's a lanyard ring or whatever. And I'll tell you what I use this for, okay? On my Fieldmaster, I've actually just tied a piece of bank line on this with a bow line, another piece to loop around my belt, and I keep it in my pocket so that if I pull it out, I got plenty of extra rope, you know, to where I'm not hindered in using this thing. But it's also, if I drop it or whatever, even if I leave it laying down and go to walk off, it'll bump against my leg and remind me so I don't lose my knife. So it's always attached to me. And then what I like about this one over the Fieldmaster is that it is a lock blade. I really like having a lock blade knife if you're going to have a folding knife. So let me just show you some quick knife stuff, and we'll wrap this up because what I really wanted to show you was the Lockblade feature of this thing. It's really cool. So anyway, let's do some nice. Okay, first of all, I've got just a little piece of green wood that was in the way of the road and got cut off. So we're taking a, we're going to use the saw on it to show you different things you can do with a saw, and just kind of maybe give you an idea how well this thing cuts. So it's just for little small stuff, it just cuts. This is green too. It just cuts really, really well. Nice and smooth. And this is about a 4-inch saw, so it's pretty good. And you just get a really, if you need some kind of like a notch for some sort of, you know, where you're making a figure 4 trap or a Paiute deadfall or anything, you can use the saw to get your notch started. And then the blade, and the serrated blade, by the way, it's got about 1 inch of non-serration right here. And you can see that it's really very, like all Swiss Army knives, they use excellent steel, and it's very sharp. I haven't had, never had a bad product from Victorinox. They're made in Switzerland, and they're just very, very nice. So you know, if you like serrated blades, this kind of gives you, it's a backwards from a normal serration. Normally, a lot of blades are fine on the outside and serrated on the inside. I kind of like the fact that this is different, because if you're doing fine work, you can push right here, and it gives you a 1-inch fine blade. But then if you're also, you know, you want to use the serration for something, you can also got that. You can also got that. You've also got that. And just putting some heavy, trying to put some really use on it and see how comfortable it is in your hand. And it is, in fact, very comfortable. You know, it's got these finger grooves here, which are, the blades are kind of in the way, but they actually give you enough of a relief to curl your fingers around. So very comfortable and very useful, obviously. Let's try some dry wood. Okay, I've got here a piece of dry wood, and take our saw, and this is not green at all, and let's just see how well it cuts some dead wood. Seems to cut pretty well through that. How about carving on it? Pretty good. Okay, that's a little bit of nice stuff from the one-handed tracker from the folks at Swiss Army Knife, and I might can do it even with my left hand. It takes me a little bit longer, but we got 2 of these things here. Again, it comes in a non-serrated and a serrated version. So as you may or may not be aware of, Swiss Army Knife has a lot of different models. They offer just all kinds. They offer like this one that's got, you know, everything but the kitchen sink in it. What I like about this one is, A, it is a lock blade, so that's just safer. I mean, you won't have to worry about the blade folding up on you under heavy use. And I like that it's got basically just the basic tools of what you're going to need. The blade is excellent, whether it's a fine edge or the serrated version. And I really like the fact that the serrated version has 1 inch, about 3/4 of an inch maybe, of fine non-serrated edge closer to your grip. So that's where you're going to be doing your fine carving. I think that's well thought out design. The saw blades on these things, like all the Swiss Army knives, are excellent. Especially the length on this. It's a little bit longer than some of them. Really good. You know, it's got your bottle opener, your can opener, and your screwdrivers, and your all and all that. Toothpick and tweezers, but it comes in a lot of different colors. Again, I like the little lanyard hole here to attach it to yourself with a piece of bank line or whatever. It's always good to have a small folding knife with you that you can keep in your pocket, something you can do finer tasks with. And again, one-handed opening, Lockblade, and Swiss Army Victorinox quality. I've never had a bad quality item from these guys, and I carry a small one with me every single day everywhere I go. So I'm rambling again, so I'll stop. Basically, if you're looking for a really solid little utility knife to carry around camp, to do pretty much most of what you're going to need to do around camp, especially like the saw, I especially like the knife that it locks. The one-handed opening is a benefit to me, and all the other stuff is just bonus as far as I'm concerned. That's the one-handed tracker from the folks at Victorinox and Swiss Army Knife, available in, again, either the serrated or non-serrated version. And once again, if you want to buy the non-serrated, the website's not real clear on this. Just click on the NS. That's the one you're looking for. So, hope this has been helpful. As always, thanks for watching Survival on Purpose. Thanks for subscribing, for clicking that like button, for sharing it with your friends, for watching those ads, and thank you so much for doing your shopping on Amazon through my links. I sincerely appreciate it. It really helps the channel. Thank you so much. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. See you next time. All-around use camp knife gear. It's really hard to do this on camera. You can see it. Put your thumb in. 3, 2, 1. So, especially that this one is, if I can find it, big one right here.